Hello everyone, welcome to the Family Films Network podcast. We have a special bonus episode for you. Back in 2007, Aaron Pacentine recorded a panel, Young People in the Entertainment Industry. Aaron interviewed and hosted the panel with guests Jared Wagner, country artist, actor Hunter Gomez, and actor Soren Folton. We hope you enjoy listening, and we bring you now Young People in the Entertainment Industry that was previously available on the Videos for Family website, now FamilyFilmsProductions.com.
Hi everyone, this is Aaron Pacentine. I'm with the Videos for Family.com website. I'm very pleased to have here three wonderful young great guys in the entertainment industry today, and we're here to have a panel discussion called Young People in the Entertainment Industry. And Jared, you're first, so if you don't mind introducing yourself, please.
I'm Jared Wagner. I'm 20 years old. I'm a country music singer-songwriter from Newport, Washington. And I also enjoy acting, and that's pretty much my deal.
Great. And Hunter, and you?
Well, my name is Hunter Gomez. I'm 17 years old. I'm from Arizona, and I'm an actor, and I love kids, I love my family, I love soccer, and that's basically me.
Okay. And finally you, Soren.
I'm Soren Folton. I'm 18. I'm an actor. I'm also music right now.
Great. All right. Now, obviously, Jared, the first question is for you. And what do you think are the first few basic differences between your work in the music industry and that of acting?
Right. Well, I have to say that one of the biggest differences in music is that not that acting isn't artistic, but you kind of get to be artistic in your own little zone, and then you get to bring that out to the public and show what you can do. Whereas acting, when I do my acting and stuff like that, you do your own practicing and that type of deal. Mm-hmm. But going on a stage and singing in front of a live audience is so different from a camera in your face. And, that's a big difference where you feel music industry is more live, where acting is more, I don't know, like the word to put on it, but when you guys know what I'm talking about, it's just a different feel to be in front of a live audience. And personally, my favorite has always been music. So maybe that's just for me a little bit more thrilling.
Right. What do you guys think that is the greatest challenge when having to go to auditions?
I guess I'll take this one.
Okay.
Yeah, you go for it.
All right.
I think the greatest challenge for me when going to auditions is kind of letting go of yourself, your own personality, and then really transforming into that character before an audition. And I think basically you're competing against yourself in regards to the script and really getting into your zone and just being comfortable with the type of act you are and going in there and giving your best read. And I think it's also about ignoring distractions that are around you, other actors, people, the offices, the casting directors, and really just putting your emotions into that script, going in there and getting your job done.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's really interesting. Soren, what do you think about it?
I'll be honest, one of my biggest troubles is when a lot of times when you go in there, you go in there for an audition, and they'll give you your sides are usually maybe 2 or 3 scenes. They'll be usually very diverse. Sometimes it's a little bit tough to kind of essentially cool off after a really emotional scene. When they want to see just how well you can play it real, see how realistically you portray normal conversation after having a very emotional scene. That's always tough cooling off. Another trouble for me, I know this is awful, but it's for me, when I go to auditions, I get very focused, and I get very, I take what I do very seriously, and sometimes it's kind of tough to even acknowledge other people on there, and for me this is awful. Sometimes it's just to be, moderately friendly with other people on there because I get so focused. Mm-hmm. But really, yeah, one of the biggest challenges for me is just, being able to switch and essentially turn off one set of emotions so you go from scene to scene.
Right. That's really interesting. Jared, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I agree strongly with both of what they had to say. I guess my big deal is I get very focused. I know they always say put yourself in the moment, but you really do put yourself in the moment. You really act like you are that person, and it sounds so simple, but that's something I struggled while I was little. I just thought we're going to this audition and we're gonna have fun, saying these lines. When really you really have to live and be that character, and it is challenging to ignore all the other things that are around, all the distractions. You do have to be with yourself, and like Hunter said, it is completely competing against yourself. It's all about getting the right tone, the right emotions, the actions, and everything. So it could be quite challenging for someone that's never been in that position.
Yeah. Wow, that's really, really cool.
I was just going to say, one other tough thing I think none of us touched on, but I just realized is I'm sure we can all agree it's always tough also when you got like really deep emotional scenes. You're trying to elicit a response from someone who looks like they're about to like nod off to sleep. That's always fun. And the person reading with you is so monotone, like Pacentine. Oh my gosh, that kills me.
Yeah, chances are that if the directors or the casting directors are going to say that they're pretty much monotone the whole time, that's not what they want. Probably they're not going to be accepted in.
No. And the thing is like, I've had a few times, there's been a few times where I was saying like, oh my gosh, I hope the whole time they're planning on being a casting director, because I think that's the occupation for them.
Right. Wow. Now, when was a time when you guys thought you were going to get the part in something, and then you guys found out that they gave it to somebody else?
I think that's like a daily occurrence with actors. I mean, yeah. There's so many times when you think you're right for a part, and you cross your fingers and you do your best, and you go in there and you think, oh man, I nailed that, and then they change the description and your part becomes a girl. That happens all the time in this industry, and it's tough, because I think a lot of times actors take it personally, and I remember when I first got into it, a lot of times took it personally, so it's hard, but I realized later that, you always remember the roles that you do get and never the ones that you don't get,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right. You want to take a shot at it next?
Well, I think one of the downers of not getting the part is like, it's kind of, you just have to kind of rise above it, and like Hunter was saying, that there's so many different kind of disappointments in the whole entertainment industry that in a nutshell. But I guess I always got to the point where I'm like, oh, they like me so much, I'm definitely getting this part, because they like kind of hype you up when you're in there, like, oh, you're so great, and then you never get a call back, and it's like, well, apparently I wasn't that great, so.
Yeah.
It is challenging to overcome that, but definitely something that with time you grow to live with.
Right. What are your thoughts on it, Soren?
The worst is when it almost seems like the ink is about to dry, and you just kind of been blindsided by. I remember I had one many years ago, and pretty young, and I was supposed to work on, or I wasn't supposed to work on it, but like we had gone to audition after audition, like. I was their guy, and then we had a meeting with the director. It was like they just had to finalize the deal, and we were supposed to get a call. They had tell us the deal was set and locked in. We never got that call. Eventually, we got that day just completely dropped me, which was kind of an unpleasant occurrence.
We will be back to our panel right after this. Do you enjoy movies your family can watch together? What about documentaries about films and subjects that have never been touched before, or maybe topics that others are too scared to create? Like ghosts, for example. Check out FamilyFilmsProductions.com. There is a lot to offer on the website. Documentaries on Oz, The Parent Trap, and much more. Now back to our panel. Young People in the Entertainment Industry, hosted by Aaron of Family Films Productions.
Wow.
It happens all the time. It's something, acting has probably got the highest rejection rate aside from telemarketing.
Wow.
It's true.
Thanks,
We gotta deal with rejection daily. shot down at the beginning before they get too invested in it,
Right.
or get shot down at the very end, you know.
Yeah.
Right. You learn to live with that, I guess.
Yeah. That's interesting.
You never quite embrace it, but you learn to accept it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good thing about you guys. You keep trying, you keep going, and you keep going. So and that's what I've known, that you guys do that. Now, as I've known before, I know you guys are Christians, and you guys have a strong faith in God, which I know is obviously to me is really important. And how do you see God working in your personal lives right now, and in the work that you guys are doing?
Gosh. Well, I guess I'll take this one.
Okay.
It's sometimes it's just something as simple as shutting a very definite door. Like I'm sure you guys all remember like the writer's strike that shut down a show that the pilot had already been picked up before the pilot had even been shot. It was going to be a series regularly. Totally. Hamlet had a fantastic plot line, brought out everything, but it all just got shut down. The writer's strike just killed it, unfortunately. And it was all ready to go. There was no question marks. You used that little window, and it was game over. But to be honest, I think it was probably a good thing because you work on a show like that. For me, it's tough because I realize I'm in the wrong profession for somebody who doesn't want to be remotely famous. I picked the wrong job, I guess, and for every time we talked about earlier about getting rejected, or even a job that you're working on and it doesn't eventually pan out. Every door that gets shut, there's a reason behind that. You have no idea what could have resulted in that.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Jared, do you have something you want to say about this? I'm sure as well.
Well, I guess to get back to like the main question.
Mm-hmm.
We're still on challenges of auditions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with all three of us, it's different for all of us, and I think the main thing to keep in mind is to stay focused to who you truly are, know what you really got into this business for,
right,
and always continue to be who you are, and there's boundaries to step over and make sure that you're trying your hardest and taking risks and stuff like that, but always stay confident and always be yourselves.
Absolutely. Hunter, I know you have some things to say.
Yeah. I really liked what Soren said about knowing that when one door shuts, another door opens. That's what I've believed in lived my career by since I first started, that if something doesn't pan out, there's always a reason for it. And I've seen that in a physical form when I don't get a part or something's happened and it's devastating to me career-wise, and then a week or sometimes a month, 2 months down the road, I'll see why, and always it's for the better for me and in my career. And excuse me, and I see God in what I'm doing a lot in my career, but I also see God in my personal life, and from big things to little things, I pray constantly. I know we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
And so in everything I do, I try to involve God because it's a supporting hand that's there to help you. So why wouldn't you include him in everything?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And that's one of the reasons why we are at where we're at, is we have that, and we have prayer and that helps anyone along the way, and I feel like that. I agree that's a very important thing to always keep on to, even though you're progressing through many saturated things through the music and entertainment industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you guys ready for the next question? This is more so for you, Hunter.
I'm good.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. Well, Hunter, if you can describe some of the events surrounding the time of filming National Treasure, and I know that was your first movie, obviously, and I know you most recently had finished up with Last Ounce of Courage. If you can go ahead and talk about that.
It's funny because when I filmed it, it was the first thing I ever did, so I had no clue, what to expect. I had never been on a studio set before. It was just going into a completely foreign world for me. All I knew was, I had my script and I painted it with emotions, and that's all, I knew and was prepared for. So that job really opened me up to a whole new world of learning about what the business was and what to expect, and what was appropriate and what wasn't appropriate. It's a lot like going from middle school to high school. There's a totally different, behavior set that's acceptable, and it was a learning experience, and I'm very grateful for it. And as far as Last Ounce of Courage goes, it's I did this movie when I was older, and it's just an amazing movie. It has a great message to it. I'm really excited to see what happens when it's released, and I worked hard on both, and I'm always grateful for any opportunity I get to be in front of a camera. So when you have great jobs like that with great crews and directors, and especially a cast on both films, you really appreciate what you do. And like I said before, you see God in everything you do. There's I'm sure there were auditions before both those films that I thought, oh gosh, why didn't I get that? Then a week later you get an audition for an audition for Last Ounce of Courage. I wonder what this is, and you get it, and see, now I understand why I didn't get that part before that.
Right.
Because God had a different idea for me.
Absolutely. Thank you for explaining that. All right, so Soren, what do you think the differences are between television and movie work?
Well.
Yeah.
I think one of the big differences is, as far as television work, it depends on what your capacity is. If you're, for example, like a guest star on a television TV show, if anything, it's actually going to stretch. It's almost like staying over at someone else's house. They've got this, everyone's already worked with one another for a while, and you're just kind of a guest, like the sort of family they've created. When you're working on a long-time TV show, that's more of a, you're part of a kind of a larger family, a long-time sort of thing, especially if the show's been on the air for a few years. When you're working on films, you kind of get to see the progression of, it's actually kind of sad, you get to see the progression of, the crew and hopefully the actors. Best case scenario, people start working a little bit better with one another. Hopefully, the machine gets a little more efficient, but then by the time that's done, you're done filming the movie. But the big difference, from television versus film is, it really, one of the big things is, as far as just talking to a film in general, with working on a film, you can, it's easier to kind of plot out the sort of character progression you want to do, because you've got essentially 2 hours to do that, the way your character's mannerisms are done. Or you could do, just when you're on a television show, you got to move quickly, especially if it's a half-hour show. You got to move fast. You don't have a whole lot of time to take your detours on a film. You got a little bit more, time to I guess, make the dialogue a little more realistic, so it doesn't seem like it's completely rehearsed. Although at the same time, when you're working on a film, you think you've got some sort of character arc on that, you got to be careful. Like when I did that movie, Sarah Kane, I could have had some sort of like a kind of a delicate sort of arc. I kind of designed the character to be very kind of standoffish, not very approachable, not really much of not a real deep personality to that. Then there's a scene, especially the scene when the younger brother goes missing. My character, I had in my mind he would finally crack and finally see below the surface.
Right.
It was a very emotional scene. It went great. That was actually my last scene shooting the film, but unfortunately, it didn't quite fit in the film. It got cut. That sort of character progression, that character arc was just lost in that one scene.
Boy.
Disappeared.
Wow.
You can't always count. You can't always count on every scene making it in, and you never know when the critical scene from your character, those scenes save the film.
Right. Wow. It's interesting. Now, Jared, if you can explain the music touring process and what exactly does that consist of, and obviously, this would be more directed to people that may not know too much about that.
Well, honestly, that is one of the reasons why I enjoy music so much. Where with acting, there's a lot of things to look at and tours while you're like in the location. Because I know Hunter and it has been many different places when he's acting and stuff like that. But it's just an awesome feeling to be in a different location every single night and experience the fun little things that you do. And I did it so young where everyone is kind of like, oh, did you go see these places?
Yeah.
And you don't really get to go see the whole town, but it's just the thought of being place to place to place. And then by the time the tour is done, you're ready to sit back and relax. But one of my favorite things to do is go visit the highlight of the city when I first call in. There's a lot of airports and hotels involved.
Yeah.
And then you go do your show, and it's like you're not even in that city when you're at that show.
Right.
You're at another show. You're with your fans, and then you go to the next venue. And I do a lot of regional tours where there may be 4 shows in a row, and then I'm off for like a week or 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. Then I'm on again. So it's not like harsh touring like Shania Twain and like 40 or 400 shows a year. That's intense.
Right.
They're doing a couple shows a day sometimes. But that's one of the reasons why I enjoy it. You get to wear something new every day. You get to release your new music that you're writing on the road. At your next show if you really want to. So it's just, I don't know. That's just one of the thrills that I found in touring, in music touring, and I haven't had a whole lot of experience with acting and travel with acting and stuff like that. But I'm sure it's just as thrilling. That's why I do what I do.
Right. Now, did you have any kind of vocal coach though? Over the years at all?
I did. I had a vocal coach through my first few years of actually professionally singing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I started vocal coach when I was 7, and then didn't have one for a while. And then I started making the 3rd CD, and I got another vocal coach. And it's hard to find a good vocal coach that is there to teach you to help you enhance your techniques. Some vocal coaches will take you and be like, this is how you need to sing.
Mm-hmm.
I like the ones that are like, okay, you do what you do well, but we need to enhance it and keep it fresh,
Yeah.
So it's really hard to find a vocal coach. As far as having one on the road, my mom's a vocal coach, and I had her. But other than that, I've been able to keep up with it myself, and
Right.
Mom helps me out here and there.
Good. That's great, that you're able to do it yourself, so much too, and learn and do as well as you do, That's really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I don't think I've ever asked you guys anything like this publicly in an interview before, but that's something I did want to mention for a while. But, as you know, there's been a lot of movies that I'm sure you guys have seen growing up over the 10, 15 years. And, of course, with our website, we have a lot of focus on the Wizard of Oz movie, and I would like to hear what you guys have to say and your thoughts on the film. Whoever wants to say something.
Who wants to go first? I think Wizard of Oz is awesome. And I don't know if you guys did the same deal, but I loved watching it because I think my fascination was the whole, part where it's black and white and then all of a sudden turns color. Thought that was an awesome idea. Is that the first movie with color?
Yeah, that was the first movie that was a the transition from black and white to color ever. So yeah, and a lot of the special effects done on that film were never really done before. So.
Right.
For like.
The only thing that really freaked me out was, but I liked the film.
So what freaked you out or something you said?
You know the monkeys at like the end part of it?
Yeah.
Or whatever they were.
Right, the winged monkeys, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, Hunter, what do you have to say about it?
What I really like about the movie is no matter who watches it, everyone walks away with a different perspective about what they thought the movie was about and how they felt about it. And I think there's a lot of hidden symbolism that, you know, maybe the writers of it had, but then they left it. Whereas, like, when people watch it, they can interpret it differently, you know?
Right, exactly.
Not how each character is, you know, missing something, whether it's courage or a heart, you know, or I think that's, you know, it has hidden symbolism, but it's left where people can interpret it in their own lives, you know?
Right, right. Soren, what do you think about the film?
One thing I love, I guess, is the original, it works in escapism, you know, and as escapist films like a lot of Terry Gilliam's movies like Brazil and Time Bandits, those kind of movies where it's the idea of, you know, essentially departing from reality for a little while. I mean, that's exactly what Dorothy does. She kind of goes on her own little tangent. What's that? Well, I was saying she kind of goes on her own little like tangent because it's one heck of a tangent. Well, right. Yeah, I wish mine were like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's, I mean, you know, that's what I do. That's what I do really love about that. You know, I mean, it's you know, leaving. It's one of the original, I guess you'd say, films where someone just completely just makes reality. And even the monkeys are pretty scary. They're pretty awesome as well. I mean, monkeys right they fly. And monkeys right there. They're already monkeys, which is awesome. And they got wings, which is so cool.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I'll mention much fun. Yeah. All right.
One other thing that I want to say about the movie.
Sure.
And I think that you guys can agree. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. That's one of the greatest songs. There's been so many different versions of it.
Oh yeah.
Yet it's still one of those happy songs. Every time you hear it, you have to sing along with it. And yeah, agreed. And I think that it's great that people have turned that song and made that song into so many different, you know, colors and tastes and you know, versions.
Yeah. Really, it's amazing. I mean, I have literally alone on my computer like at least 40 different versions of that song, very different artists. It's amazing how many people have been able to take that song and arrange it differently, and you know, it's amazing.
I respect the song too much to ever sing along to it. I will destroy the song.
Well, you know, I remember a conversation. I remember your mother telling me once, Hunter, that you play the guitar and sing or something too. So you might be able to work on it soon.
Oh yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Hey, write up a new like and I'll sing it. Alright, sounds good.
Yeah, I need to see that.
It's like a punk rock version of Rainbow.
That'd be funny. Alright, now, have you guys ever had the chance to do any kind of stage work or perform in some kind of stage production before?
In elementary school, I did a play where, actually, I think I was a planet. I think it was Saturn. But so, for a while, that was pretty much the extent of my theater experience, as being a planet in an elementary play. But last year, I did do my high school play, and it was a play called Brigadoon.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. And I played Harry Beaton, and you know, it was a lot of fun. It's Jared talked about, you know, the difference between being in front of a live audience and being in front of a camera, and there really is a whole different feel to it. I mean, performing in front of a live audience, there's so much adrenaline and such a feedback that you get from the audience when you say a line that's funny or, you know, do something drastic. And I think it's an experience that all actors should have. I think all actors at some point in their life should do plays, or, you know, whether it's, and there really is a whole different feel to it. I mean, performing in front of a live audience, there's so much adrenaline and such a feedback that you get from the audience when you say a line that's funny or, you know, do something drastic. And I think it's an experience that all actors should have. I think all actors at some point in their life, do plays, or whether it's big time plays like Broadway or local theater, or your high school play. I mean, it's just you learn so much. Your posture, the way you're standing, and it really helped me out, and it was a great time.
That's really cool. Who wants to mention this next? I guess I don't know if Jared or you, Soren, have any kind of experience with that.
I did one play, although it kind of snowballed a little bit. It was a play by an author by the name of Ray Bradbury. He does a lot of science fiction, so he's a fantastic writer.
Yeah.
And what happened was supposed to be me and another guy splitting the duties, because it was the play was the character was in every scene, and Ray Bradbury is known for having some pretty fantastic but very eloquent dialogue, which is really tough for a young kid to handle.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I must have been maybe 12, pretty young.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Maybe younger, but yeah, we're supposed to be splitting the differences, but unfortunately, the other boy, the other boy didn't end up doing it. Kind of all fell on me, and that I will admit that thing slowed me down pretty good. And I mean, for me, I guess my biggest thing is I like to be able to do something new every time. And for me, I know this is such blasphemy, and I understand this is I'm probably completely wrong. It's a subjective opinion. It's just I'm not saying for me, I kind of feel like I'm just I'm going through the same not action, but the same kind of situations every time. And to be honest, now, oh gosh, I can't imagine doing a play. I am not a big fan of performing in front of other people. That's why I like acting.
Right.
The camera almost serves like kind of a wall that protects you. I mean, I can't handle being in front of a group of a live audience performing. That's just too much for me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, that's okay. That's why there's acting there. That's why there's movie and film work for you, and of course television work, and that's probably better fitting for you anyways. You're seeing that's what you like,
Thank God for the development of the camera, otherwise it'd be a big trouble.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Jared, do you have any kind of work that you had on stage? For his production.
I get one of those. It's a separate type of thrill for a musical thrill of going on stage. Is like everyone is here to see, what I have to do, and I'm very grateful for that. I love that. I love that people, like my music enough to come to my shows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that type of thrill. As far as like working really hard on a play, and it's hard work. Who hasn't been in plays? It's like the same thing over and over and over until everyone gets it in their head.
Right.
And then to go through this like blood, sweat, and tear kind of situation where you're with these people for hours out of the day, and then finally getting to perform it in front of people is yet a different thrill. Like, we're going to go out there together and we're going to show them what we all can do together. And so it's a different thrill. I love it, but let me tell you, being in a play is one of the most time-consuming things.
I bet.
Like, I think I was in this play, and we started auditioning for it in January, and we didn't perform it until like August. Like, that's how committed all the shows were. Huckleberry Finn.
Oh wow.
A long play, and it took and I think the reason it took a lot of time is we lost one of the main actors through the middle of it, and they had to improvise. So.
Wow. So were you Huckleberry Finn, Jared?
No, I was two people in the play. I was Dick and I was Ben.
Oh wow, okay.
I was two people at the same time. But
wow.
So yeah, I mean, it was fun. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I do enjoy it.
Right. Now, this other question is kind of more directed to you, Jared, but, do you think that you would try out for some kind of musical at some point, or maybe some kind of country musical or something like that?
Some kind of,
country musical or something.
Like High School Musical
Yeah, something like that, or something to where, your singing style would be, good for, a part in a musical or something like that.
Well, honestly, I've been kind of obsessed with Glee.
Really?
Have you guys seen Glee?
I know about it. I've seen some of them.
And everyone's been talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why that show fascinates me so much. Maybe it's the whole musical feel, but I think I would enjoy that. I would love it. As far as going back to like High School Musical, I don't know. It's all about the age difference and transforming, because I think we all can agree that we do things a little bit different now because we're older now, and we're not little kids anymore. So
right.
But the musical thing, you see Glee, where these older actors are, and they're not like extremely old, but they're like older. They're not all kids, and they're having so much fun. I can see myself, doing that type of deal. It's something I'm looking into right now. Not currently, but I think it would be fun.
Right. Interesting. Soren or Hunter, you guys have anything to say about that?
I'll keep my singing to the shower. I've got movies. I can't even do that anymore. I know. Maybe, sometimes, like, if I'm, like, on a run and, like, there's no one within, like, 100 miles, maybe I'll hum along a little bit. But, I gotta tell you, I grew up with two sisters who were really good singers, and they'd sing around the house and pump your spirit a little bit. I don't know.
Interesting.
Hunter's an awesome singer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Hunter. I heard about it.
Oh, gosh. I don't know who you were talking to, but...
It was your mom. Seriously.
Or maybe that was... No, that was runway modeling, not singing. Oh, yeah? Oh,
that's right, those modeling photos. We can't forget about those.
We will be back to our panel right after this. Now back to our panel. Young People in the Entertainment Industry, hosted by Aaron of Family Films Productions.
All right, now where do you guys think you'll be probably in the next 15 to 20 years?
Gosh. Boy. Really old? No, I'm kidding. I'm really hoping, like, not on the street. That's kind of my goal. I could be employed in any way, shape, or form. It'd be really nice. Oh gosh, I don't know. I'd love to keep, I'd love to keep acting. Honestly, for me, my big goal is in a perfect world. I would love to be the best at what I do, but that's gonna take some time. If it's even gonna happen, that's my goal. Realistically, who knows? I'll probably be doing something in the entertainment business, probably something to do with acting. And if it's not acting, maybe, I don't know, maybe screenwriting, if I can ever overcome my sloth and actually concentrate on putting the page, the story, from out of an outline and onto the page,
Right. Where do you think you'll be, Jared? Hopefully, on the 20th album?
I hope so.
I hope
you know what? If all goes well and all goes planned, I definitely believe in everything that I've done in my past is the best part of life. But I also believe there's more to come. I want to see myself, total career in music, total career in writing, performing, touring, and being there for my fans and doing what I love to do. Because I think everyone should have the opportunity to not only do what they love to do, but also be able to make a career out of it and be able to survive and live on it.
Right.
And that's hard work. It takes a lot of time. It's very tedious. It's hard work, and I know all of our parents know what it's like how much work it takes to make sure we're there on time for our things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of pressure. But I think we're all driven to do it. I think you'll see all of us, living our dream and really, really happy at, how far we've came in the whole entertainment industry.
Right. Yeah. What do you have to say about it, Hunter?
Let's see, in 20 years I'll be 37.
Wow.
Gosh, that's like I thought.
Wow.
I hope to be an accomplished actor, and whether it's acting or writing and producing my own films, that's where I hope to see myself, and it's still in the creative genre of work. But I know that education is very important. I want to go to maybe like an Ivy League school, and whether it's like kind of do what Matt Damon did, go to an Ivy League and then get back into it, or maybe I really have to see what happens in my life in the next couple months, because like I said, this is my senior year, and this is the point where a lot of big decisions come in, and life-changing decisions.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
In 20 years, I hope to still be in the art aspect of the workforce.
Good.
Absolutely.
That's great. Now, what are some of the current or possible projects you guys are working on right now, then?
I was just on Ghost Whisper last Friday, and that's going to be begin on in the next coming weeks, and I'm working on a film called Conditional Love, which is I think you knew a little bit about, but
yes.
Which is basically a film which applies right to my life, because it's basically a film about how my parents are always right. So I don't know how, but that fits perfectly in my life, because it seems like everything I do, they're always right.
Wow.
So I'm working on Conditional Love. Ghost Whisper, I'm finishing the editing right now on a documentary we shot in Cambodia called Awake in Cambodia. It's still being edited. We're kind of getting to the post-production part where everything's being finalized.
Right.
We're getting the last little bits in place, getting all our pawns in line, and it's keeping me busy, and I'm loving every second of it.
Great. Now, is that going to be released on DVD at some point, or is that going to be on television, or what's the...
Awake in Cambodia?
Yes.
What we're going to try to do is really hit, really what the documentary is about is it carries more of a message of like some of the darker parts of Cambodia and what's really going on behind the scenes.
That's great.
We're not really too worried about it becoming like an accredited thing, as long as people see it and understand what's
Mm-hmm.
really happening. And what we're going to do is we're going to hit film festivals hard and get distribution and try to just have people see and hear the message.
Good. That is excellent. I'm so glad you're doing that. That's really, really good. Now, what about you, Soren? Do you have anything to say about that?
Oh gosh, my big project is right now getting a good education. It's actually real tough, because I gotta be real picky about what I decide to audition on, what I decide to work on. Unfortunately, with the recession, we were all kind of trying to ride out this storm until it's finally over. The clouds seem to be parting. But right now, I'm just invested in school. But when the right thing comes along, I'll be ready to go.
Good. What about you, Jared?
Honestly, education is a huge thing, and that wasn't really hugely driven into my head. Like, oh, you've got to be this type of person. I've always been in the entertainment industry.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents have always had a goal that everyone should have the education that they want. I think that it doesn't only teach you certain things, but you come out of it, knowing more, not just because of the classes you attended, but the experience you get to take with it. I'm privileged enough to be in an institute right now where I get to do all my school online, and if it wasn't for that, it would be very hard to do, the rest of the stuff that I do. But I'm actually going to be moving to Nashville in the beginning of the year.
Congratulations.
So that's my plan there. Gonna get down there, start doing some write with some bigger songwriters, and continue recording for this new album, because I want this new album to be my I guess that you can call it the arrival, because I really truly believe in it.
Great.
if I didn't believe in the rest of the stuff that I did, this is one thing for me to really focus on and really get it right.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say, Jared, are you planning on, yes, you're going to go ahead and just get this recorded in Nashville too as well when you're down there, once you're settled in and everything later on?
You know what? I've recorded in Nashville before.
Okay, good.
I really have fallen in love with a studio that I recorded my Country Voyage and I Love You About Me tracks
Right.
on MySpace. And I actually recorded those in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
This guy, Lewis Draft, he's brilliant. He played every single instrument on those tracks.
Wow. My
I know
gosh.
it sounds funny, but like it took some time, but he played every single instrument on there.
Wow.
And I fell in love with that studio, so that's probably where I'll be recording it. Who knows exactly for sure, but that's where I started recording it, so I'd like to finish it out there.
Right. That's excellent. Well, I appreciate you guys being a part of this today. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we close?
Just thank you for the interview and setting aside some time of your day to talk to us. Really appreciate it.
Sure, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, well,
having the opportunity. I always say this. I think it's not just the profession we're in, but it's who we meet in the profession. And I have to say that's one of the biggest joys. I got to meet Hunter on the way, and I've got to meet many people. And Aaron, thanks for having us.
sure, you're welcome. It's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you guys so much, and I wish you the continued best and blessings on all of you guys and your continued work.
Well, thank you.
All right.
Too.
Yeah, thank you. My special thanks again to Jared Wagner, Hunter Gomez, and Soren Folton for their time today with our very special panel, Young People in the Entertainment Industry. Thanks again to all three of you. It's been a lot of fun. Well, this is Aaron Pacentine with videos for FamilyFilmsProductions.com. Thanks for listening.